All right, so if you're thinking about making a move here to Murrieta, California in 2024, I think this is gonna be a really good video for you to check out. We're gonna talk all about the average cost of living here in the city of Murrieta. So we're gonna talk not only about the average home price, we're gonna talk about how much it costs on average to rent a home here. We're gonna talk about the average household income, how much the average utilities cost, gas, commute times, all types of good stuff. So if you're thinking about making a move, you're definitely going to want to check this out. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader for the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams. And this video is all about the city of Murrieta, all about the average cost of living. So I'm gonna give you guys what I think is a lot of good information so you can have some good realistic expectations on how much it would actually cost to live here. Not only, to purchase a home, but all the other stuff that goes along with it. So utilities and gas and average household expenses. And I'll give you some examples from my family as well. So hopefully it'll be some really good information for you guys and give you a good idea of what it's actually like to actually live here in the valley. But the first thing, if you are liking videos like this and you want some more real estate information, more real estate videos about the Murrieta, Temecula, and Menifee Valley, do me a favor, please hit like, please hit subscribe to the channel. So obviously it's gonna help me, it's gonna help the channel. We're trying to continue to grow it. But we have new videos that come out each and every week. So we have I think it's over 120 videos that we've posted in the past. So a lot of good information for you guys to check out there. And then going forward, each and every week, we have new videos that we put up. So we have talking about average cost of living for Murrieta, Temecula, Menifee, average home prices. We have market updates. We have best neighborhoods to live in, worst neighborhoods to live in. So I think it's a lot of really good information that's out there. So if you want to keep updated and keep an eye on all the new stuff that we're putting out there, please hit like, please hit subscribe. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, of course, I'd love to hear from you. So you're going to see my information below or at the end of the video. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email me. I'm going to be the one that personally responds to you. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. And of course, if we can, myself or my team can help you with your real estate search, making the move to the area, we would love to help you do that as well. But happy to at least be a resource, give hopefully some good information and answer a couple questions for you. So feel free to reach out. I have people that reach out all the time. So I would love for you to do that. But we'll go ahead and we'll get into the video here. So again, this is all about the city of Murrieta. Just so you guys know that a lot of these numbers are very, very comparable when you're going to compare to both Temecula and Menifee, and then a lot of the other surrounding cities in the valley too, especially like utilities and gas, all that type of stuff. It's really all about the same. Home prices and rent prices, those are going to vary mostly city to city, but the other stuff is going to stay pretty constant as far as average cost. So city of Murrieta. I know I've mentioned this a lot in my videos in the past, but so you guys know a little bit about me. I have lived here in the valley for quite a long time, so it's over 20 years. I think it's over 25 years now. So I went to high school up here, out here. I have 2 kids now that we're raising here, and this is where I plan to live long term. So personally, I think it's a great area to live in. I think, especially if you have kids and a family, I think it's a great area to be in. It's definitely the suburbia. It's the suburbs for sure. It's grown a ton since I've been out here, so it's definitely changed over time, but I think it's a great area. It's relatively newer, it's pretty squeaky clean, and we have a lot of clients that move here not only from out of state, from other parts of Southern California. So, and that really is the biggest draw to the valley here. So when I say valley, it's like Murrieta and Temecula Valley and and the other surrounding cities. But people will move here most often from other parts of Southern California. They come from San Diego, LA, Orange County, and the biggest reason that they move out here is just because it's so much more affordable. So that's kind of one of the first things I want to talk about is overall price point and just affordability. So right now the average home in the city of Murrieta is selling for $648,000, right? So which is definitely like significant. They're not like a cheap home by any means. If you compare that to the national average, the average home nationwide sells for basically $348,000. So it's almost double what the average price for a home is in the United States, right? But if you compare it to other parts of Southern California, Murrieta and Temecula are significantly cheaper. It's a lot better value, which is why so many people move from there to here, right? So when you look at San Diego, Orange County, and LA County, the average homes there are really over $1 million, either right at $1 million or over. And truthfully, even if you find something right around that $950,000 range, which you can find there, it's probably kind of a crummier house and maybe a crummier area or a smaller home, right? You're just not going to get a ton for your money, as opposed to a home here, in, let's say in Murrieta, right? Let's call it for $650,000, you can get a nice 4-bedroom home that's built probably in the last 20 years, maybe 25 years. It's relatively updated. You don't have a lot of the old maintenance concerns that you have in something that's built maybe 1960 or 1970, right? You have tile roofs instead of a shingle roof. You have newer, utility systems and all that type of stuff. So not only are the homes here cheaper than other parts of Southern California, it's newer construction, it's a nice area, it's kind of a squeaky clean suburb area for the most part, and it's a really good school district. So that's the other big draw to where, if you buy, let's say, a home in San Diego for $1 million, which obviously is a lot of money, you're probably not going to be exactly in like a premium tier 1 area, and so the school district there is probably not going to be the greatest. You might be average to below average, I would say, as opposed to you can buy a $650,000 home here in Murrieta, be in a super nice home that's nice and big, probably 30-40% bigger than that San Diego home, and it's going to be located in a great school district. So Murrieta Valley School District and Temecula Valley School Districts are both excellent public school systems. They're constantly rated 8, 9, 10 out of 10 across the the different rating systems that they have. And in general, there's really not a bad school out here, and they're all going to be pretty nice, starting from the middle school and going on up. So that's kind of the general gist, and that is the area. The reason that this area has grown so much is because it's so much more affordable than other parts of Southern California, and you can get so much more for your money, right? But going forward, I'm gonna give you guys a bunch of stats. I'm gonna compare, hopefully give you some good things to compare about. And so I've done a lot of research for this, and hopefully giving you guys some good information if you are thinking about making a move here, whether it's from other parts of Southern California or if you're making the move out of state. I think this is going to be good information for you to know moving forward and help to make sure it's going to be affordable for you, and this is really going to be the right area for you. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, so we just talked about average home price, and that's a big draw to people here. But also, I wanted to talk to you about average cost to rent. So again, my team, we just focus on the purchase and resale side of things, right? And whether it's new home or resale, so purchase and sale side of real estate, we don't focus on the rental side, but I want to make sure at least we still give you guys some good information. So we talked about Murrieta so much less than other parts of Southern California, but as the economy has changed, over the last 3-4 years, obviously we've seen home prices go up quite a bit, and with that, we've also seen rental prices go up quite a bit. So right now, the average cost to rent a 3-bedroom home in Murrieta is about $2,800 per month, and then the average cost to rent a 4-bedroom home is right about $3,200 per month. So it is that's significantly more than it was 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years ago. I mean, rents have gone up pretty drastically for sure. It is one of those situations where you can, depending on how much you're going to put down, you can probably rent a home for a little bit less than what you can actually purchase the home for on a monthly basis, right? But you don't get all the other advantages that purchasing a home would give you, right? So you don't get to pay down your mortgage and kind of use that as a forced savings account over time, right? At some point when the houses go up in value, you're not going to get the appreciation, and then you don't get to write off like any type of the interest that you're going to be paying, etc. So there is an argument about being more affordable to rent a home than purchase a home right now. But I think going forward, as interest rates continue to change, I think that probably goes away. And realistically, I mean, personally, I feel like buying a home is really the best investment that you can make, right? You're going to use it as a forced savings account. It's going to go over time. I think it's a great thing to do, right? But if it's not right for you, you can look at the renting option and just kind of know where those rental values are going to be. All right, so utilities. So that's the next thing I wanted to talk about. We took a look at kind of average utility bills for trash, gas, water, and electricity. The average household cost of those shows as $268 per month, and then the average internet bill, kind of consider that utility now, for someone is going to be about $77 per month. So I would say it's relatively affordable. Again, it's going to be pretty comparable in the surrounding cities. I will tell you that my families are between especially our water and electricity bill is probably more than that. We're really probably closer to the $350 to $400 per month for all those utilities. So I think these numbers are a little bit low, but that is what the internet machine is going to tell us, so that's what we'll go with. But I think I'd probably plan for just a little bit more cost on a day-to-day basis. All right, so the next thing we want to talk about is the average commute. So right now, the average gas price is about $4.89 per gallon, right? So keep that in mind if you're going to be living here and making a commute out for work. So that is the case for most people. Most people do live here in Murrieta or Temecula, and they commute for work. So they commute to San Diego, they commute to LA, they commute to Orange County. Some people do it 5 days a week, some people 1 or 2 days per week, right? That is becoming less and less common in like our post-COVID era. So now more people work from home, of course, so that's going to be a big plus. And I would say for many people that live here, that's probably the biggest pain point and their least favorite part about living here is they live here and they commute out for work. So if you're able to work remotely, I mean, that's going to take away the biggest pain point. Or if you were able to have a job here locally, that's going to be a big plus as well. That's usually not the case. I've made other videos about it, but there's not a ton of big employers, locally. There are plenty of, medical hospitals and medical buildings and schools and fire departments and all types of stuff like that, dental. There's a ton of those types of jobs, but as far as like corporate executive businesses here locally, most people end up making that commute out, again, San Diego, LA, Orange County. And the average commute time for most people is right about an hour. So that's an hour each way. Obviously it could be closer to 30 minutes or it could be closer to an hour and a half, depending exactly where you're going. But that is a big thing to think about if you are going to move here and you're going to make the commute. Just think about not only the cost for gas, but how much time you're going to spend in the car, and make sure that's something that you're going to be okay with. All right, so the next stat we wanted to talk about is just the average cost of our groceries for the average family of 4. So from everything that I found online, the average stats that I found showed about just under $1,500 per month. So $1,491 is what I showed. Honestly, I thought that was like super high, at first, at first glance, but when I took a look back through my family's bills over the last couple months, I think that's probably pretty accurate. They say that that's pretty on average. It's maybe on average about $100 per month higher than the rest of the United States. Now this is for a family of 4, right? So if there's just 2 of you or 1 of you that are making the move, you can of course adjust accordingly. But that's something to take into account too. So just a little bit more expensive for average groceries here than the U.S. average. And then one thing I wanted to point out is just talking about taxes. So state income taxes. So depending where you live now, you may not have any state income taxes, or you may be paying even higher state income taxes, depending what part of the United States that you're living in. But it's important to know if you're going to make a move to California, you are going to pay that sunshine tax. So it's a 13% state income tax, so that's something to be aware of if you are going to be transferring companies, or if you are going to continue to work remotely. Just make sure you think about that state income tax that you're probably going to have to be paying. And then I wanted to point out, taking a look at doing all this research and taking a look at all these averages. From what I found is the average cost to live in the city of Murrieta is slightly less than the average cost of the entire state of California. So a little bit less expensive here than the cost to live other parts of the state, right? We talked about housing is significantly less expensive, but if you compare it to other parts of the U.S., it's definitely a little bit more. So you're going to pay a little bit of a premium to be in California. So just something to know that. Obviously, if you are making a move to California, I think this is a great area. I think if it's affordable for you, I think it's a safe area to live. I think it's a clean area to live. I think it's newer. I think it's a super nice suburb, and I think it's a great location to be relatively close to all the other cool things that Southern California has to offer. And then I wanted to take a look not only about cost, the cost for living for all these things, but also about, the average income. So maybe keep this in mind if you are going to be making a move here. But the stats that I showed for the average income for the average family of 4 living in Murrieta range anywhere from about $107,000 per year up to about $116,000 per year. So depending which site, some of the data was going to be a little bit different, but somewhere in that range between 107 to 116, right? I think the Census Bureau doesn't collect that stuff every year, so it's gonna vary all the time. But I think it gives you a pretty good range on how much the average family earns in order to live here and be able to pay their bills and afford their cost of living, etc. And obviously we're going to have the extremes as well. So there's going to be much higher income earners, and I'm sure there's lower income earners as well. So it just kind of depends where you fall in, and if you're depending on your family size as well, I'm sure it's going to play a factor. And then one thing I did want to point out is that's the end of my stats. But just so you guys know, these are all stats that they're not stats that I'm coming up with. I got them off it's a handful of different websites online. Some of them are from the U.S. Census Bureau. Some of them are from a handful of different third-party sites. Like I think one of them was Zumper.com. There's a few different websites online that we use for the data. So just want to make sure I pointed that out. And these are not figures that I'm coming up with, not things that I'm quoting, just kind of some research that I'm compiling to hopefully give you guys some good information. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to reach out. You can call, you can text, you can email me. Of course, I love to answer any real estate questions that you might have, and hopefully we'll be able to hear from you soon. Thanks.